Oh, views on Intifada. Zohran Mamdani. Bus bombings in Haifa of restaurant attacks. Mahmoud Mamdani, his Baba. Intifada's political change. I point to de-Zionization. Wrote his book for Zoran. You teach us how to engage the world in difficult times. This is the MSNBC Zohran Mamdani Al Sharpton video that took place. I'm part of YDSA at FSU where that girl braided a guy wearing an IDF shirt, and here they posted at least 5 billboards saying being Jewish should not require campus security. This is exhausting. Yeah, that was wearing an IDF shirt, man. That's crazy. I mean, listen, in the simplest terms, you see, like, what is it? There was like a cabinet secretary, foreign minister position in the UK, and the woman wears a hijab, right? And they were like, see, I can't believe that, you got another Muslim man in a position of power. They're taking over. Like, just the easiest, the simplest thing to say to that is like, okay, would you ever say this about a Jewish person? That's all you need to know. That's it. Can you imagine if someone was like, look, another Jew took a position of power? That would be unimaginably racist. That would be anti-Semitic. Everyone knows what that is. Okay? That's it. If anybody, and I mean anybody in Congress, talked about Jews the way that like Randy Fine, Kirsten Gillibrand, and virtually every other congressperson talks about Muslims and Islam, they would get kicked out. It's crazy. It is crazy. There is no group of people that you can shit on this openly. Like, I talk about it with anti-blackness, all right? Anti-blackness is a core part of the American identity. But over the years, it's gotten to a point where like you can just point to anti-blackness without being like overtly anti-black, and you use dog whistles, right? Like, if a congressperson was to utilize similar like statements like, oh, a black person in a position of power, what has happened to the world? Everyone would be like, all right, you're done. You're out of your goddamn mind. You're psycho. Okay? This isn't to say that like anti-blackness is not a core part of the American identity in the way that Islamophobia is. Make no mistake. I'm saying that it's more insidious. Anti-blackness is more insidious, right? But you can't do it in an overt fashion. But you can do it in an overt fashion when you're talking about Muslims. You could just literally be like, this guy did 9/11. He is a radical Islamist fundamentalist. He's going to do another 9/11. That's crazy. Now, of course, I'm talking about right now in this day and age, okay? It's 9/8/2025, 5:58 p.m. Pacific time in the United States of America. The reason why I'm detailing this is because things might be different tomorrow. Things might be different a month from now. It is heading in that direction where these guys very clearly want to speak about every group like this, okay? They do. They do. The same forces that are like pumping this kind of Islamophobic sentiment in broad daylight, you know, they want to talk about black people like this. They kind of are talking about black people like this again in ways that you hadn't heard people talk about black people openly since like the civil rights struggle, you know, since the days of segregation. I mean, we just watched the Fox News report doing black crime. Like they literally were just like, well, you know how it is. Black people are just more and more responsible for violence against all these other groups than anyone else. You know how it is. So they are getting there. They are getting there. Bro literally said it's a race issue. Oh, for sure. For sure. That's why I'm saying like, right now, I'm giving you the time code so that the people don't clip me next week and be like, Hasan, you were wrong. Okay? It is pretty up. We have to put a stop to it. I don't exactly know how. I don't know how we're going to bring woke back. But, you know. Yeah, I mean, here, there's another example. It speaks to deep levels of Islamophobia in this country that a sitting politician could let loose libelous filth such as this without any worry about political ramifications. Kalman also addressed the New York City mayoral race. Speaking about Mamdani, we're at the precipice of having a mayor who thinks it's okay to Jews, not because he himself is going to do it.
Supports him as an anti-Semite. But every anti-Semite supports him.
Yeah, not because everybody who supports him is an anti-Semite, but every anti-Semite
supports him.
Every
single anti-Semite supports him, and you got to ask yourself why.
Yeah. Incredible stuff. A bookstore employee told me Quran is required reading for all freshmen. Went to the Columbia University bookstore. These are some of the books students are reading this semester. A bookstore employee told me Quran is required reading for all freshmen. Oh my God, dude. Sure. Okay. Anyway, let's watch this segment now.
I've, down through the years, said and been involved in things that I've later said was misunderstood, and some things that I regretted. Mrs. Coretta Scott King told me, you got to watch language, got to watch what you say. Now, let's talk about anti-Semitism. New York City is the home of the largest Jewish population outside of Israel. The mayor must build a relationship, whoever the mayor becomes, trust in all communities of the city. The term globalized the Intifada has become a...
Dude, they can't even, oh my Lord, bro. They can't even get the word right at this stage. Come on, man. Come on. Just like put some effort into it, man. Put some effort into the smears.
A flashpoint for Jewish New Yorkers who say they're concerned about how your views on the Israeli-Gaza conflict will influence how you govern the city. You said on Meet the Press in July, that's not language you would use, but you don't want to police the speech of others. But we both know words.
Like, it clearly is not so scary that, like, it stopped Jewish New Yorkers from voting for him. You know, they did. The most successful Jewish candidate in the race endorsed him, actively defended him, said this shit is crazy. What the fuck are we doing? These guys are so aggressively trying to claw back some kind of power. Like they know they've lost the information war. They know they've lost the information war, so they just have to try and find like some kind of control, like a victory, no matter how silly it is. Okay? That's what they're trying to do here. They're like, oh, well, you know, maybe if we can get him to apologize for this and then we can claw it back piece by piece. Because next it's going to be from the river to the sea. Okay? That's what it is. I said this before. I tweeted about it. Someone can pull out that tweet. The moment that you concede on this framing, which is a false framing to begin with, the moment that they move on to the next thing, then they go, well, why did it take you so long? Why did it take you so long to condemn it? Why are you condemning it? If you condemned it, why did you work with groups like Students for Justice for Palestine that say it all the time? Why did you set up the SJP chapter at Bowdoin College? They say it all the time over there. It's in the charter. Why? Because you know that it's not a bad thing to say. You and I both know it's not a thing to say at all. You're just capitulating to racist fears. Okay? That's it. So I always say it's better to be honest. Just say the truth. Just say the truth.
Words matter. The Department of Defense means something different than the Department of War. I've experienced this throughout my own civil rights career, and I've had to correct myself to deal with what people receive may not be what I meant. And words have consequences, and sometimes...
He has taken the long road to just get him to concede that, like, you know, maybe sometimes words are misunderstood. Yeah, this is what I said. No, this is not what I'm talking about. This is not what I was looking for. I was talking about specifically what I said about Zoran potentially caving to this. Okay? Free Palestine from the river to the sea means Palestinians no longer live in a state and are free of the occupation and have equal rights and representation, not to the Jews. Just like Black Lives Matter never meant white lives don't matter. On the other hand, this is anti-Semitic. The confliction between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism is one that the ADL in Israel uses regularly. They claim Israel represents all Jews. Yeah, where they hit like they tagged a mural, right? I despise the media circus environment that compels every journalist to ask the same question and every other journalist. Does anyone have the OG, the tweet that I was looking at? I know exactly what tweet you mean. Look at this guy. Look at Jojanite. Classic Jojanite. Look. I know exactly. Don't link it because you always ignore my links. What a fucking baby, dude.
We need to examine our own positions to build unity. Has your personal views on the phrase of global intifada changed since you've been running for mayor? Do you understand those that see it in a more threatening way than saying, I'm just not going to police other people's language?
Yes, they have. And you know, when we won the primary election, I said on that stage that I know that millions of New Yorkers care deeply about what happens in Israel and Palestine, and I'm one of those New Yorkers. And I commit to reaching even further to understand disagreement, to wrestle with the complexities of those differing viewpoints, because what this city deserves is a mayor that looks not only to represent the close to 600,000 New Yorkers that voted for me, but rather the 8.5 million people that call this city home. And in the meetings that I have had since that moment, I've met with Jewish elected officials, with rabbis, with community leaders, and there was one rabbi that spoke to me about how that phrase, for her, brought back memories of bus bombings in Haifa.
Brother, oh my God. Oh my fucking Lord. You can say that about anything, okay? You can say that about anything. You can say that about literally anything, okay? You can say that about fucking anything that Palestinians have said and link it to October 7. As a matter of fact, I'm not even making this example up in my head as a hypothetical scenario. It's what a lot of Zionists have done since October 7. It's what they were doing before October 7 as well, with respect to globalize the Intifada or from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Oh my God, it's the Hamas charter, this and that. Like, that's it. Like, what do you mean? What do you fucking mean? The logical conclusion here is I saw a free parking sign and I heard free Palestine. The Jews are tired. That's what the logical conclusion here is the classic fat law tweet. Also, this is silly. You've spent your fucking adult life doing activism for fucking Palestine. What do you mean? Don't you realize that this opens you up to a fucking flood of moments where you have been around people saying globalize the Intifada? Like, they're just gonna cook you now. Oh, God, it's just bad instincts, dude. Do I think he is shaken from his position of being like unconditionally pro-Palestine? No, I don't. I just think it's bad fucking instincts, okay? Disappointing for that reason. No, you guys are stupid. I don't think a guy who literally spent most of his fucking political advocacy at a time when it was like when your career and everything you were doing could be taken away from you for openly fucking saying pro-Palestinian things or being as a visible Muslim brown guy who's a socialist, being one that was unconditionally pro-Palestine for a very long time is just going to automatically be like, yeah, I don't give a shit about this anymore. No, it's just bad fucking instincts. That's it. He's just like trying to temper his message in a way that honestly betrays why he won to begin with. Okay? Ugh. Yeah, no, this is what I said. I said, this isn't a sincere request. Any concession on this instead of moving on to real issues that matter will make this a bigger story for the media to farm. Then they will ask why Zohran Mamdani doesn't condemn it anytime someone else says it. They'll move the goalposts. Okay? Per source who attended partnerships for New York City meeting with Zohran Mamdani today said he understands globalized the Intifada is interpreted by New York Jews as a call for violence and will discourage it. It discourages use and not by himself. It's just an insincere request. There is no reason to fucking lean into this shit because it's not a sincere request. It's an insincere one. Okay? What? This is a bot? I agree with you, Hasan. 100% go to WW. No, that's not a bot. That's my most loyal supporter. Oh! Views on Intifada. Zohran Mamdani. Bus bombings in Haifa of restaurant attacks. Mahmoud Mamdani, his Baba. Intifada's political change. I point to de-Zionization. Wrote his book for Zoran. You teach us how to engage the world in difficult times. It's especially fucked up because like what are we talking about? People's feelings? Like, what are you, crazy? The reason why they want you to shut the fuck up is because you're anti-genocide. They want to take you out because you're fucking anti-genocide. That's it. And there's a real genocide happening. Fuck you mean feelings, you know? Oh, people's feelings are hurt by the language that I'm using because it's an Arabic word? Okay, well, those people are fucking racist. Tell them to take a hike.
Of restaurant attacks in Jerusalem. And I knew that from what she was sharing with me that she had a fear, as she said, that could come home to New York City.
Okay, what if she told you that her fear also extended to from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free? What now? What now? What if she said she has that fear about free Palestine as a message? Is there a limit? What is it that globalized the Intifada that allows you to? Because it's not sincere. He's not being sincere here. That's the other thing. He's just lying. He's fucking lying. Like, everybody knows he's lying. Everybody who has been a part of the pro-Palestinian advocacy knows that this is just not true because it's not a real fucking. It's not a sincere request because the reality of the matter is Intifada is simply an Arabic word, and that's why it's scary for people, okay? That's it. That's it. That's it. It means uprising. Globalize the uprising. If people were saying globalize the uprising, it would get less mileage, okay? It is not a sincere request by people. The sincere request that they want to make, but they can't openly say is for you and many others like you to shut the fuck up about Israel slaughtering children every day. That's it.
And so in having that conversation with her, I knew that the gap between the intent that I have heard some New Yorkers share with the use of that language of calling for the end of the Israeli occupation of Palestinian land was disconnected from the impact it was having in that same conversation I was having with that rabbi. And so I have said, after having that conversation, that this is language I would discourage.
Meanwhile, motherfuckers in the UK are literally getting arrested because of the fears that people have, okay? That's the logical conclusion of the leaning into the fears that people have about certain language. There is the reality of a genocide unfolding. There's the reality of people who see right from wrong, people with a conscience, okay, that obviously see what is going on and want to take action against it. Okay? Yeah, I mean, this was the long version of it, but yeah. In the New Time magazine interview, Zohran Mamdani says he told CEOs he will not discourage the use of Intifada because he listened to New Yorkers, including Jewish leaders and a rabbi who said it evokes memories of bus bombings. Why is he listening to deranged genocidal Zionist freaks over the countless Palestinian anti-genocide New Yorkers, including many Jews? He himself defended the use of the term by accurately describing it, describing what it actually means, calling out the Islamophobic racism that lies behind the contrived Zionist hysteria about it, and noting that even the Holocaust Museum used it. But instead of standing by the truth of what not just the phrase globalized intifada, but the term intifada itself actually means, he has bowed to the most insane, deranged, genocidal Zionist freaks alive. This is this squirrel squirrel gets a little heated because this is a real issue, okay? It's a real issue. Do you think we should still support him now? Yes. What the fuck is this question? What? That's not my... Oh my God, you guys are so dumb. What? Yes, chatters. What the fuck? I'm just saying it is a bad instinct. Why do you think he said this? I don't know about bad instincts because he's been considering this a long time. It's bad instincts. He's making a bad decision. He's making a decision that the calculation that he's making in his mind that he thinks like this will get people off my fucking ass. It won't. They're on your ass not because of the language that they are trying to slam into your fucking mouth. They're on your ass because you're pro-Palestine, you're Muslim, you're brown, you're socialist. You want to actually do right by your constituents. That's why they're crawled inside of your fucking asshole. Not because you've been around people that have said globalize the intifada. They can't even get you on camera saying globalize the intifada. It's just like you're anti-genocide. And people who are pro-genocide want you to stop being anti-genocide. Okay? No, fuck Zoran. He's a sellout, just like every sock dem scum. Okay, dude. Well, as I always say, then it's not for you. Okay? Then this conversation is not for you. Okay? If you're going to start ripping on like, this is social fascism. These are all social fascists. Like, okay, well, they all are, I guess. So it's not for you at all. This is not this should not even be interesting for you, you know? Who cares, right? That chatter is exemplary of this being very online. I don't think the people who voted for him or will vote for him /care about this that much. No, exactly. That's why it doesn't even matter that he has to fucking make these kinds of like decisions. Most people just saw him saying, I'm not going to Israel. I'm the mayor of New York. And that was like a pivotal moment that was a first glance at Zohran Mamdani for a lot of people. And they loved it. Okay? For some, they saw the buses and they're like, I like that. For others, they saw someone with 50,000 door knockers. One of those door knockers knocked on their door. That chatter doesn't live in New York City. Yeah, I mean, no shit. Compromising on something so stupid like this when it's not a sincere request is just, to me, a demonstration of bad political instincts, which he usually has very good political instincts. I don't think he's like betrayed the pro-Palestinian movement or anything. Okay? I'm not stupid. Like, I don't think that. But make no mistake, I'm not saying he's like, he's sold out or some shit like that. I don't traffic in that kind of commentary. You know what I mean?
These Democrats are not embracing him.
Yeah, I think it's a mistake. I mean, I understand it. First of all, there's probably donor pressure from, particularly in New York, on this, and I'm sure that in part there's a fear that he will become emblematic of the whole Democratic Party. But understand that he ran on the issue of affordability and on a kind of positive politics that got, as Bernie said.
I think it can be both a bad instinct call and also a betrayal for the Palestinian movement. No, it's not. Oh, that part I don't agree with. You can't, chatters. You can't just like discard a person for one decision that they've made that is so unimaginably marginal and just like cast aside so much of their fucking background and their actions leading up to this moment. What are we talking about? Like, you're out of your fucking mind if you think that this like you guys are looking at things with today's lens, not realizing that up until recently, being a brown Muslim dude who was fucking openly advocating for BDS, you know, being openly pro-Palestinian, like these were non-starters. You got doxxed, you lost your fucking job. Stop making excuses. What? Stop making excuses. Man, shut the fuck up. I'm saying that this dude is not like, he has 10 plus years of visible activism and advocacy that causes me to place a lot more emphasis on that over this instance of him caving to liberal framing in a way that I think is a bad move, because it's not going to silence the opposition. If anything, it's going to make it worse. But I hope I'm wrong on that front. Okay? Y'all are so dumb. He's indulging racist fantasies about Palestinian terror attacks in New York City. Yes, that is true. That is what he, without recognizing, is entertaining. Like when someone says globalist intifada, that reminds people that there's going to be a bus bombing attack in fucking New York City or some shit. Like, that's a crazy thing to say. And usually you don't see this in the aftermath of a fucking dub. You know what I mean? Like, normally a W like the one he secured should lead him to think like, no, we're doing this right. We're doing something really right here. Being honest, being courageous. This is the correct thing to do. And I should do more of it. It's like surprising.
Many, many young people in that city to involve themselves in the process. What is the message that they are sending? By the way, he carried Hakeem Jeffries' district 2-1.
Well,
yeah, ultimately, it's not like the